Good evening. Come in, won't you? What's the matter? Surely you're not nervous. Perhaps it will calm if I tell you a story.
We are meant to call from out of the past stories, strange and weird.
Tales of mystery and terror by radio's masters of the macabre.
Stories of the supernatural, the supernormal, dramatized like fantasy, the mystery, the unknown. We tell you this frankly, so if you wish to avoid the excitement and tension of these imaginary plays, we urge you calmly, sincerely, to turn off your radio now.
This is The Horror. Welcome back, and thank you, as always, for joining me. We'll hear this week from The Weird Circle, a syndicated series produced between 1943 and 1945. 78 episodes in all. It aired at one time or another over mutual NBC and ABC stations. Our story today is based on a short story by Nathaniel Hawthorne. It's titled The Heart of Ethan Brand. This one aired January 1st, 1944.
The outstanding writers of weird and uncanny stories.
Ho, die Muckersong. Hold, we're listening. Wilkie Collins.
Where can I hear these stories?
Listen to the Weird Circle. Out of the past, phantoms of a world gone by speak again the immortal tale, The Heart of Ethan Brand.
Ethan, what are you doing here? What do you want?
I've come to share a joke, Brother Barton. A wonderful, colossal joke. No man enjoys laughing alone, you know.
Come in, Ethan. Oh, I don't fancy myself laughing at your jokes. Sit a few minutes. I have a new fireman coming to keep the kill going tonight. I'll have to go out directly and get him started.
Don't fidget, Brother Barton. You've a lifetime to tend the fires of the lime kiln while I... My good Brother Barton, I've quite a tale to tell you. In fact, you can't relish the joke until you've heard the strange story of my wickedness.
You haven't changed, have you, Ethan?
Oh, yes. Much for the worse. I've learned to manipulate men as a chess player would move his pawns. I've made men commit crimes they had never dreamed of. And I've enjoyed every moment of my evil life.
Oh, you're still as crazy as ever. What are you talking about?
You'll understand when you hear my story. And by the way, Barton, I haven't been able to finish my search. I haven't yet found the unpardonable sin.
You're talking in riddles, Ethan. Now, I'm a plain man. Talk to me simply.
Don't tell me you've forgotten. Forgotten our long talks as we used to watch the fires of the lime kiln together.
I'm not likely to forget working side by side with you. I don't recall all you had to say, though. You talked wild and crazy most of the time. Sometimes when you stood poking the fires in the kiln and the sparks flew round and the red glare lit up that cynical smile you always wore, you looked like the devil himself.
It was at just such a time, brother, when my face still glowed from the heat of the lime kiln, that we began to talk of the unpardonable sin. Think back, Barton. Think back to a certain day when we stood together on the side of Mount Greylock firing the furnace.
Stand back, Ethan, while I stow in this log.
We don't need it. Fire's going good enough now.
All right, then. Get up the door.
I like to watch a blazing fire. I guess it's about the only excitement I get. What a life.
Why don't you go to the city, Ethan? Get some kind of job there.
I don't want some kind of job. I don't want to work just for the sake of working and making money. I'm not made like that.
Sometimes I think, brother, you're not made like anybody else in this world.
You flatter me, Barton. But there is no doubt that I'm unique. Yes, the only thing that would drive me to labor industriously would be some unusual, interesting motive.
A wicked motive, if I know you. I'll bet my life on it. Before you die, Ethan, you're going to commit some kind of unpardonable sin.
Unpardonable sin? Now, what does that mean? Unpardonable sin. We don't all yield to the same temptations. Our weaknesses are all different. Our sins are different. And which sin is unpardonable?
I guess I don't rightly know, but the way I look at it, a man's weakness can lead him to sin and maybe to an unpardonable sin. Now, take Willie Sheridan coming along there riding up. Horses are his folly. Maybe they could lead him to commit his unpardonable sin. Oh, he ought to be tending to his paper mill, but instead, here he comes in the middle of the day horseback riding.
Hiya, boys! Fine day!
Sure is, Willie.
Good hunting, Willie. Watson, you've inspired me. You've given me a reason for living. I'm going out in search of the unpardonable sin.
By Hickory, I almost think you mean it. You got the same kind of expression you used to have when we were kids, and you'd pull wings off of flies just to watch them wriggle.
A minor experiment, Barton. But now I shall embark on a master plan, on a large-scale experiment in sin. Find out a man's weakness, and you can control his life. And perhaps make him commit the unpardonable sin. It should make a lifetime of interesting research.
No doubt, Ethan. No doubt. Hey, look. Look over there in the valley. Must be a big fire. There's a lot of smoke.
Yes, looks like it. Isn't that Willie Sheridan's place?
Yeah, it's just about where it is, all right. Say, if there's a fire in his stables, Willie will be fit to be tied.
Well, Willie was on his way home just now. I think I'll run over and see the excitement. I always did like a fire. Surely you haven't forgotten that day, Brother Barton. The day Willie's stables burned down. When I arrived, Willie was running around frantically, not accomplishing very much. Some of his horses were trapped, and there was nothing anybody could do about it. As I watched Willie's mounting hysteria, I suddenly decided I had meant what I had said about the unpardonable sin. And I realized I could go about my research in a cold-blooded way. Willie would be my first experiment. He had, as we all know, a bad temper. And his fights with Tom, his groom, were known around the whole countryside. So I went up to Will and I said, Willie, you know how the fire started?
No. I'd give anything in the world to find out. Must have been somebody's confounded carelessness.
Or revenge, maybe?
What? Revenge? What do you mean? Speak up, man.
You must know Tom hates you. Everybody heard him say he'd get even someday.
Oh, I see it now. Yes, it all adds up. I had a quarrel with Tom just before I took out the new filly.
Look at Tom leaning against the fence,
Yes.
that satisfied smile on his face. He's got his revenge, all right.
Why, that dirty up. I'll fix him. I'll kill him. What I'll do, I'll kill him.
Now, don't lose your head, Willie.
Hey, what's the matter, Willie? Somebody stop him. He's got a pitchfork. Let me go, Willie. It wasn't Tom's fault. Tom wasn't even...
Too bad, wasn't it, Barton, that Willie had such a bad temper and loved his horses so much. Those weaknesses led him to murder. As I stood looking at Tom's body, I wondered, was murder the unpardonable sin? But I knew that though the law would punish him, most people would find it in their hearts to forgive Willie. I would have to look further for that unpardonable sin. As I walked away from the fire and the crime and past the burning stables, I suddenly felt that I was two persons. Oh, not good and bad, as the moralists believe. But I felt I was two bad persons in one body. I know it sounds fantastic to your matter-of-fact mind, but to me it was clear. One of my selves was inexperienced in evil. But I knew I had an older self, a second soul as aged as the world, and great in the knowledge of men and wickedness. And as I walked down the road in the evening shadows, my second soul spoke to me.
Ethan Brand, you're a rare bird. You're cold, calculating, completely without heart. We ought to go far. And if you listen to me, I'll set you on top of the world.
That might be interesting. How do we begin?
First, you must have money. Not too much to start with. It would look suspicious. Ethan, your old friend Esther will help you.
Esther? Esther's only a clerk in a bank.
That's what I was thinking. Remember, Ethan, find a person's weakness, and you can control his life. Ethan, you are Esther's weakness. Go to Esther and say...
I'm not going to see you anymore, Esther. I want to give you a chance to forget me.
Oh, Ethan, I can never do that. Goodness knows I wish I could, but I just can't get you out of my mind and my heart.
I guess I've never really explained myself. You see, I'm not the type to be satisfied with a little cottage with a white fence all around and a clothesline in the backyard. I want the best, and I want my wife to have the best. If I had a future and money, I'd ask you to marry me tomorrow, Esther.
Ethan, you've never said that before. You've never mentioned marriage.
I've never had the right.
Oh, Ethan.
And now, ironically, the chance of a lifetime has come to me. I have an opportunity to buy a share in a good business. All I need is small capital. But, of course, I can't even think about it.
Well, there must be some way to get the money. How much do you need, Ethan?
$10,000. Of course, I'd only need it for a short time. Once I had an interest in the business, I could borrow money and pay back the $10,000 in a few months.
Yes, of course you could. Ethan, let me help. You know, Mother left me quite a little income.
No, I didn't know that. But you don't think I'd take money from you? From a woman?
I'm not any woman. I'm the woman you're going to marry. Please, Ethan, please let me help you.
All right, Esther. But I wouldn't take help from any other woman in the world. You see, brother, how easy it was to get people to do what you want. It was like playing a fascinating, mischievous game. That night, as I walked home from Esther's in the moonlight, my second self spoke again.
You handled that nicely, Ethan. Esther will have that money just when you need it. It'll just take a little time to arrange matters.
And what do I do now?
Ethan, call on Willie's poor, bewildered, beautiful sister, Grace Sheridan. Offer your sympathy over the recent tragedy. Grace can be a big help to us, Ethan.
Yes. Yes, that's a brilliant suggestion. I'll see that my talk with Grace Sheridan is highly satisfactory, and that the results are according to plan.
Awfully nice of you to come and see me, Ethan. I'm just so confused. Willie was so crazy about the horses, he neglected the mill, I'm afraid. Tell you the truth, I'm going to be lucky if I don't have to go into bankruptcy.
Grace, let me help you.
What?
I'd like to put some money into the mill, manage it for you.
Oh.
You see, paper interests me. Paper's used for 1,000 purposes. It's used all over the world. I'd turn your paper mill into a big business.
Well, you sound like a miracle, Ethan. You really mean this?
With all my heart.
Well, how much money can you put into the mill?
About $10,000.
That's fair enough. Then it's settled.
Fine. Here's to my very charming senior partner.
It's funny, Ethan, that we haven't seen much of each other in these years. Where have you been all the time?
Just waiting. Waiting for this day and this moment. And we're going to see a lot of each other from now on, Grace. Everything happened, Barton, just as I had planned. Esther brought me the $10,000. I bought the interest in the mill. And soon the long-neglected business was going along far better than we had dreamed. I became a leading citizen. Then one night, as I was turning out the light to go to bed, I heard the voice of my second self.
Ethan, it's time you made some political connections. For you and I are going farther than this small town and this state.
Yes, I've been thinking about that.
Your man, of course, is Jake Sampson. You must make him indebted to you. You've heard the gossip about Sampson, haven't you, Ethan?
Yes, everybody talks about it. Jake's a big man. A political boss in this state, and he could go far if it weren't for a woman. The woman he can't get rid of.
Jake will be at the Chateau, the gambling casino outside town tomorrow night. And you must make a friend. A loyal, grateful friend out of Jake Sampson at any cost, Ethan. At any cost.
What better place, Barton, to study men than at the tables of chance? Perhaps there, I thought, I would find the unpardonable sin. So, the next night I went over to the Chateau, and I finally found Jake Sampson brooding over a glass of brandy.
Hello, Ethan Brand. Join me. Help me drown my sorrows.
You certainly do look despondent, Sampson. What's the trouble?
I'm putty. Just putty.
You mean putty in a woman's hands?
You're a mind reader, Ethan. Then I guess everybody knows my personal affairs. I can be as hard as nails about everything else in the world except...
A woman. It's the old story, isn't it? You've ceased to care, and the woman's still wrapped up in you.
Yes. She's not come along with me, if you know what I mean. I've gone up, and Babette has stayed just the same. I tried to explain it to her again tonight, but it's no use. I'm a man doomed to the woman he doesn't want.
You ought to let me take over. I use direct, hard methods.
She's right over there, Ethan. That little blonde in a red dress at the roulette table.
I see her. Well, Sampson, maybe I can do you a favor.
I'd never forget it, Ethan Brand. I'll never forget it.
You're not having much luck tonight, are you, Babette?
This night or any other night. Say, how do you know my name?
I asked somebody. I think you're very attractive.
Oh, save the sugar. Well, maybe you'll bring me luck. Mister, all I got left in the world is $50. What'll I do? Put it all on the black or just part of it?
I can't make such an important decision for you. But then, you see, I'm a gambler. I gamble all or nothing.
Yeah, me too. Here's $50. All on the black. Now, watch that old wheel.
I win!
And I've lost everything. Well, goodbye, mister. Hope you have better luck than I have.
Oh, just a minute, Babette.
I'm going for a walk.
Let me come along.
Why not? Say, the lake looks cold, don't it? Come on, let's walk down there.
All right.
Say, who'd you ask about me when you found out about my name?
Jake Sampson. I asked him if he minded if I tried to, cut in.
What'd he say? Was he mad?
No. No, not at all. He said that you and he had parted. Jake seemed glad that I was interested in you.
Oh, he was he?
Yes, Jake was full of plans tonight. Of course, you know he's going to be married tomorrow. She's an awfully nice woman, and she'll be a big help to...
Wait a minute. Say that again. No, don't. I guess I'd known something like this was coming. But Jake ought to have told me himself. You had no right.
Oh, I'm awfully sorry. Perhaps Jake just didn't have the courage to tell you.
Oh, go away, mister. Leave me alone. I want to walk by myself.
All right. You won't get lost down there by the lake. It's slippery on those wet rocks.
Thanks for telling me.
Well, goodbye, Babette. Goodbye.
Hurry, Ethan. Hurry, so you won't be caught near the lake. No one must see you running away from the drowning.
After that suicide, Jake Sampson began to make great political plans for me. So, Barton, I had two things I needed for advancement. A growing business and political backing. Then one evening, Esther came to my house.
Ethan, I've got to have that money back quickly. You see, I stole it. I stole it from the bank. I took it in dribbles and fixed the books so they wouldn't find out, but in a few days the accountants are coming, Ethan.
But, Esther, you told me it was money from your mother's estate.
Oh, I lied, Ethan, I lied. I wanted you to have the money. I thought we were going to be married.
We are going to be married, Esther, very soon now. And I'll get you that money by noon tomorrow.
Oh, Ethan, I knew you wouldn't let me down. I knew it. I've got to go now, dear. Goodbye, Ethan.
Goodbye, Esther.
Ethan, you must not marry Esther.
I've never for a moment seriously considered it.
Grace is the woman for you, Ethan.
I know that. Don't I know I'd get full ownership of the mill from Grace? Besides, she has the social connections I need.
You must get rid of Esther some safe way. She's the kind of woman who would be troublesome. The kind who would fight for you. Hang on to the end. You must get rid of Esther without hurting yourself.
Yes, but how? How?
Remember your rule, Ethan. Control people through their weaknesses. Now, Charles Townsend, the president of Esther's bank, loves power. Power over people. He likes to make people suffer. He acts quick and he has no mercy. Go to Townsend now, tonight, and say to him,
Mr. Townsend, I've come as a friend to do you a favor. But in return, I'll expect one from you.
Well, it depends upon what it is, Mr. Brand.
You must keep the source of the information I'll give you a secret. My name must be out of it.
That's a reasonable request.
But should you just happen to forget, and just, of course, by accident, mention my name, I'm afraid I'd be forced to take my banking business elsewhere.
Why, really, Mr. Brand, now, what do you take me for? Now, what's on your mind?
I just thought you might like to know one of your clerks has stolen $10,000.
What? Who? Which one is it?
Esther. I'd advise you to get to the bank early in the morning, Mr. Townsend, and check the books. Check the books early. Well, Brother Barton, that brings us up to date. I should be sitting very pretty indeed. Esther is out of my way in the state penitentiary. I'm engaged to Grace Sheridan. I shall be owner of a prosperous mill. And Jake Sampson has great political plans for me. Yes, Barton. I'm on my way to that coveted place on top of the world.
You're mad, Ethan. Stark mad. You and your second self. Get out of my house.
But wait, brother. You haven't heard the end. You haven't shared my joke. I'm on my way to the top. But I'm never going to get there. I came here from Dr. Myers. I haven't been feeling very well lately. I made him tell me the truth. I've but a few months to live. I'll never realize any of the glory ahead for me. Isn't it a joke, brother? A colossal joke.
What are you made of, Ethan? You don't even care about yourself, do you? Doesn't seem to mean anything that you're going to die.
Not a thing. I don't know why I haven't any feeling, any emotion, Barton, but there it is. I haven't. Well, I've had quite a career, haven't I, brother? And to think it all started over a search. A search for the unpardonable sin, which I never did find.
Ethan, you caused a girl to steal, drove a woman to suicide, and egged down a man to murder. You found the unpardonable sin, Ethan. You've committed it by deliberately leading people into temptation. The unpardonable sin, Ethan, is in your own breast. Now, please get out. I can't stand the sight of you any longer.
All right, Barton, if that's the way you feel. I think I'll go up on the side of Mount Greylock and have a last look on the scenes of my boyhood. See our rustic lime kiln once more.
Then I shan't be going there. My new fireman knows his business anyway. I don't want to see you again, Ethan.
But perhaps, brother, perhaps you shall.
didn't turn out, Ethan, as we planned, did it?
No. But I've decided what I must do.
Yes. Yes, it's the best way. Come. Come ahead.
Joe, wake up. You're a fine fireman asleep on the job. Wake up.
Oh, 'tis a bad head I have. Your brother Ethan, he socked me in the jaw, he did.
Ah, the blasted fool.
Your brother wanted to stir the fires in the kill, but I wouldn't let him. The fires was just right. I didn't want no interference. So he socked me, he did. I guess I've been out for some time.
And look at that. The idiot left the furnace door open. Now wait till the fires are out. Joe!
What's the matter now?
Come here. Look inside the furnace.
The saints preserve us. A skeleton. A white skeleton of a man lying there on the red-hot coals.
And here outside the door on the ground is the man's hat.
Maybe it's your brother.
Yes, it belonged to Ethan Brand.
He must have been a madman for sure.
Joe, hand me those prongs.
Yes. Here they are. What are you finding now?
There on the skeleton is a hard object. There's a lump on the breast.
So there is. Why, it's the shape of a human heart.
Here. Look at it. It's marble. It's a marble heart.
From the time-worn pages of the past, we have brought you the immortal tale, The Heart of Ethan Brand. Bellkeeper, toll the bell.
That's going to do it for the horror for today. I hope you enjoyed it. You can find more from the Weird Circle, past episodes of the horror, and everything else Relic Radio at relicradio.com. Our Shoutcast stream is up and running, and thousands of other old-time radio episodes are available to listen to there, all for free thanks to your support. If you'd like to help out, visit donate.relicradio.com or click on the donate link. My thanks, as always, to those who have helped out. Thanks for joining me today. Be back next Saturday with another episode of The Horror.
Strange Tales.
RelicRadio.com presents tales of the strange and bizarre, the weird and the wicked. Stories not necessarily of the supernatural, but of the unnatural. Join us now for Strange Tales, featuring radio drama at its most mysterious and unusual. Welcome back to the show. Thanks for joining me once again. We'll hear this week from The Strange Dr. Weird, 2 episodes from The Good Doctor. We'll begin with He Woke Up Dead from March 27th, 1945. After that, it's The Man Who Played Dead from May 1st, 1945. The series aired over mutual stations from November of 1944 to July of 1945. Around 30 episodes were produced. Here he is, The Strange Dr. Weird.
The Strange Dr. Weird.
Good evening. Come in, won't you? Why, what's the matter? You seem a bit nervous, pale, and distraught. Perhaps a story would help calm your nerves. Yes, a delightful little story about a dead man who acts just as if he were alive. I know you'll like it. I call it He Woke Up Dead. My story, He Woke Up Dead, begins with two men pacing back and forth at the top of a high cliff overlooking the Pacific. They are John Raymond and his brother Gregory, a gaunt man in whose eyes gleams a fanatical fire.
Gregory, the answer is no. You're asking for $100,000 from the Raymond Foundation to spend on fake yogis and swamis, trying to get in touch with the dead. Well, you're not getting it.
But, John, all my life I've been studying death and what is in the life beyond. And now, with just a little money, I know I can penetrate its mysteries.
The Raymond Foundation would be the laughingstock of the world if it went in for such a crackpot idea.
So, you think I'm a crackpot? Well, when you die, John, according to Father's will, I'll be head of the Raymond Foundation. Then you'll see I'll turn the whole foundation into a great research laboratory to study death.
That will never be. I intend to have the courts change the will, so you'll never be head of the foundation, Gregory.
No, you can't. You're blocking a tremendously important piece of work, but I won't let you.
So, just what can you do about it?
This, John. I can do this.
No, Frank, no!
Uncle Gregory, you say Father had a dizzy spell and fell from the cliff before you could catch him?
Yes, Jack. It happened so fast, I could do nothing.
But Father never got dizzy. His health was perfect.
The groundkeeper says he saw you push Father off the cliff.
Jack. That's nonsense. I was trying to catch him, pull him back.
Jack, you know Uncle Gregory wouldn't do a thing.
I'm not so sure, Susan.
Now listen to me, both of you. The coroner said your father died accidentally, and that closes the matter.
Not with me, it doesn't.
No? Well, I'm now head of the Raymond Foundation, and I'm going to pour all the resources of the foundation into an effort to contact the dead.
Why, that's insane. The foundation scientists are on the verge of a cure for cancer, for tuberculosis. You can't stop their work now.
I can, and I will.
Oh, no, you won't. We'll stop you somehow. Because you did murder Dad. You killed him to get control of the foundation for your crazy schemes.
Get out. Get out, both of you. Get out before
Jack, he tripped on the rug. His head hit against the fireplace.
Wait. See how badly he's hurt.
Jack, what is it? Is he dead?
Yes, Susan. All his life, Uncle Gregory's been trying to find out what happened when you die. Now he's going to find out.
Dr. Weird, before you give us the second half of tonight's tale, can you tell me why you're called Doctor?
Easy. When people listen to this program, I show them how to avoid such unhealthy things as being murdered and...
Well, somehow, Doctor, I doubt whether that would cure anybody of anything, especially a case of nerves. But I'd like to tell the men in our audience how to cure something that can be cured. It's old hat-itis. Being addicted to the same old weather-beaten hat. The only real remedy for old hat-itis is to go out and get yourself a good new hat, or 2 or 3. Now, Adam hats are priced so sensibly, only $3.45 to $10, you'll easily be able to afford more than one. Combining distinctively smart styles with fine quality materials and craftsmanship, Adam hats are a truly outstanding value. You'll find it more than worth your while to discard your old headpiece for a brand new Adam hat, or 2 or 3. Now, back to Dr. Weird.
And now I'll continue my story. He woke up dead. When Gregory Raymond returned to consciousness, he was alone in a great dim room. The thick, cloying scent of flowers was heavy in the air. Startled, he saw at the other end of the room 3 coffins resting on trestles. One of the coffins was banked with flowers, and tall candles burned at either end of it. Dazed and bewildered, Gregory Raymond strode toward the 3 coffins.
This room. Where am I? Stained glass windows. It's like a church. Who's in this coffin with all the flowers on it? Why, the body in this coffin is mine. No, it's impossible. I'm not dead. I can't be.
You mustn't be upset, mister. Most of us feel that way at first.
Huh?
Yes, we did. But it will pass soon.
What? Who are you?
Turning, Gregory Raymond was astounded to see dim figures coming toward him from the shadows. A man and a woman, both very old. They smiled at him sympathetically.
I'm Joshua Benson. This is my wife, Nellie. These are our bodies in these other two coffins.
I don't understand.
Oh, you will. Look, here in this coffin. See? It's my body, isn't it?
It looks just like you.
It is me. The earthly me, I mean. And now, this one is Nellie.
You mustn't be so upset. You'll soon be used to the idea.
We're really dead? All three of us?
Why, of course. You died yesterday morning. You slipped and fell and hit your head.
Yes. Yes, I remember.
It's taken you until now to become aware of things again. Death is a great shock, you know.
But where am I? What is this place?
This is the mortuary chapel at the cemetery. They'll be coming for your body soon to bury it.
Joshua and I were killed 2 nights ago in an auto accident. But they aren't going to bury us until tomorrow.
I never dreamed death would be like this. Why, I can still see and hear. I can breathe. My heart still beats.
Oh, not really. You're used to those things, so they let you think there hasn't been much change until you've had a chance to get over your shock.
They? Who do you mean?
The ones in charge. You'll know more about them soon. Mr. Benedict will be coming for us, and I expect he'll take you along, too.
Mr. Benedict? Who's he?
The guide. He stopped by last night just to tell us not to worry and to wait for him here. He'll take us on to the place where we go next.
I see.
Shh. Someone's coming. Come back here, out of the way.
4 men. And Jack and Susan.
Oh, they've come to take your body away to bury it.
All right, men. Take it easy now. That's it. All lift together.
No, they can't bury me. I'm not dead. I can't be. Jack, Susan, listen to me. It's Gregory, your Uncle Gregory. They're gone. They didn't hear me.
Because you're dead. The dead can't communicate with the living. It just isn't possible.
But it must be. All my life I've worked to establish such communication. Now I have so much to tell the world. The people I've worked with. I must find some way to communicate with them. I must.
Are you ready?
Huh?
You feeling better, Mr. Raymond?
This is Mr. Benedict. He's come for us.
Yes, it is time. We must go.
But I can't go. I've got to tell people, the people I work with. I've worked so hard to find the truth, and now
It may not be. There can be no communication. Now, Mr. Benson, Mrs. Benson.
Yes, sir.
It's time.
Oh, yes, Mr. Benedict, we're ready, but Mr. Raymond here is coming with us, isn't he?
It is impossible. He is doomed to stay here on Earth.
What do you mean? What are you saying?
That is your punishment. To remain forever a spirit that moves unseen and unheard among men. It is the punishment of all who murder and die unrepentant and unconfessed.
Oh, no.
He's a murderer? I can't believe it.
That is not for me to say. Come, we must be going.
No, wait. You've got to take me with you. I can't stand it being here, seeing, hearing as if I were alive and not able to make anybody see or hear me. I have to go with you. I have to find out what comes next.
It may not be.
But you've got to take me. If I confess, if I repent, Will that make a difference?
It may. I cannot promise.
Then I do confess. I killed my brother John. I pushed him off the cliff. I'm sorry now, but it seemed so important then that I just had to do it.
You are confessing to your brother's murder?
Yes, I killed him. I admit it. Now take me with you. You can't leave me here. You can't.
Gregory Raymond, listen to me. You're under arrest for murder. You understand? Under arrest for murder.
What are you saying? I'm dead. We're all dead.
You're not dead. You're very much alive. And you're under arrest. These two people are witnesses to your confession. Now come along with me.
No, you can't arrest me. Don't you understand? You can't arrest a dead man. And I'm dead. Dead! Dead!
Was Gregory Raymond dead? Or was he alive? Well, the doctor said he was alive. For you see, when his nephew found that the fall had only knocked Gregory unconscious, a strange scheme came to him. And with the aid of 3 coffins and 3 clever wax dummies that looked exactly like corpses, plus several excellent actors, he really made his Uncle Gregory believe he was dead. In fact, Gregory became so convinced of it that when they told him he was really alive, he wouldn't believe them. To this day, nothing can convince him he isn't really dead. It's probably the strangest punishment a murderer ever had. Though I did know another man who... Oh, you have to go? Perhaps you'll drop in again soon. Just look for the house on the other side of the cemetery. The house of Dr. Weird.
The Strange Dr. Weird.
Good evening. Come in, won't you? What's the matter? You seem a bit nervous. Perhaps if I told you a story, it might help calm your nerves. A story, say, about a man who found a new and amazing way of hiding from the police. I call the story The Man Who Played Dead. My story, The Man Who Played Dead, begins in the dimly lighted interior of a strange room in a big amusement park. The room is a waxworks museum known as the Chamber of Horrors, and wax figures of history's most diabolical murderers stand motionless all about it. The only living figure is the proprietor, Pop Malloy, who moves slowly from dummy to dummy, dusting them in preparation for the big spring opening. As Pop approaches a figure in a dark corner, the figure unexpectedly speaks to him.
All right, Pop. Put up your hands.
Morgan. Burke Morgan.
Yes, Morgan, and not a dummy either.
But I don't understand. You were in prison. You're supposed to go to the electric chair tonight.
I was supposed to, but I broke out, see, after they had me all prepared for the hot seat.
Well, what do you want here?
Just to hide for a while. The cops are right behind me, so since this is the only place in the park open, I slipped in 10 minutes ago when your back was turned.
There's no place to hide here. There's just this one big room.
No arguments. You go ahead of me while I look around.
All right, look around. Say there's no place to hide it.
I'll find one. Hey, these 3 dummies here. They look like my old partners. Joe Norton, Marty Phillips, Tony Benson.
Yes, Burke, that's who they're supposed to be. The ones you shot in the back last year.
What do you got them standing around this phony electric chair for?
Well, you see, tomorrow I was going to make up a dummy of you, Burke, and sit in that electric chair. Then I was going to put up a sign saying, "Execution of Burke Morgan on the night of May 1st, 1944, as his murdered partners look on."
Why, you...
Don't you like it?
You're a little previous, Pop. I'm not sitting in any hot seat tonight.
No, I guess not. It was a cute idea, though.
Too cute. Hey, their faces seem to shine in the dark. What causes that?
Why, you see, I painted them with phosphorus paint. The idea was the lights would be turned down low and the customers would see the faces shining in the darkness the way they do now. See, they were ghosts. Give the yokels a big cake.
Somebody at the door.
It's an officer. He's coming in.
Hey, Pop! Pop Malloy!
Listen, Pop. I'm going to stand right here, absolutely still in the shadows here, like a dummy. You get rid of him. If he spots me, I'll plug him. Get it?
Yeah, I get it.
Hey, Pop, are you there?
Hey, come in. Oh, it's you, Flanagan.
Yeah. Say, Pop, did you know that Burke Morgan's on the loose?
Oh, is he?
Yeah, and he's someplace in this park. Somebody smuggled him a big shot of cocaine and a gun at the prison, and he blasted his way out an hour ago.
Oh, that's bad.
No, I'll say it's bad, but we'll get him. Orders are to shoot on sight. And on the... Hey, Pop.
What is it?
That dummy back there.
Huh?
It moved just now.
No, it couldn't have.
I saw it move. I'm going to have a look at that dummy.
Flanagan, wait, don't.
All right, Copper, you
You've killed him.
Yeah. And if you want to stay alive, you better listen fast. There'll be more cops here in a second, but they won't find me because I'm going to hide right out in plain sight. I'm pretending to be myself.
What do you mean?
I'm hiding right here in this little imitation electric chair of yours, see? I'm going to play the part of a dummy again. I'm going to pretend to be myself in the great electrocution of Burke Morgan.
Oh, I see.
This time I won't move either, because I'll be sitting down. There they are at the door. Yell to them to come in. And don't forget, I've got a loaded gun right here beside me. Stay close to me or I'll let you have it. And make it good, Pop. Make it awful good.
Dr. Weird, I'm breathless.
You mean the beginning of my story has you excited?
Well, yes, but it isn't only your story that leaves me breathless, Doctor. It's those Adam hats so many men are wearing this season. Gentlemen, I honestly doubt whether you'll see hats with more distinctive styles, fine quality material, and bright, jaunty shades. They're like a new breath of life. And such variety. Gentlemen, you'll find most every shape and model in the new hats now on display at the thousands of Adam hat stores and authorized dealers from coast to coast. So get into the swing of things. Buy your new Adam tomorrow. Now, back to Dr. Weird.
And now I'll continue my story, The Man Who Played Dead. With Burke Morgan hiding in plain sight by pretending to be a wax dummy, the three policemen who had come running at the sound of the shots were completely deceived. And Pop told them that the dead officer on the floor was just another wax dummy, and they believed him. After warning him to be on the alert, they left, and Burke Morgan chuckled as the door closed behind them.
Good work, Pop. But you're not through yet.
What do you mean?
Oh, look at that squad car. They parked right outside the door. If I even get out of this chair, the driver can look right in and see me.
Yeah, I guess that's right. He can.
Well, since this is the only place I have to hide, I'm going to sit right here until the search is over.
You're the boss, Morgan.
You bet I am. And you sit down right there.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to sit here, and you're going to sit there until they give up hunting for me. If they come in again, stall me. If you try to move without permission, I'll blast you.
I won't move. I don't want to die.
That's being smart. Hey, Pop, you haven't got a shot of dope on you, have you?
No, Morgan. What's the matter? Nerves getting jumpy?
None of your business. Now settle down. We got some waiting to do.
The two men settled themselves to wait. Burke Morgan sat in rigid silence, ever alert for the return of the police. Half an hour passed, then an hour. His taut nerves cried aloud for the drug they craved. His muscles twitched. 2 hours passed, and Burke Morgan's tortured nerves were screaming. The three waxen faces which Pop Malloy had covered with phosphorus paint glowed in a ghostly fashion before his eyes. And then Burke Morgan thought he heard an eerie voice speak to him.
Burke Morgan.
Pop Malloy, did you say something? No. Now, Pop's asleep. It's just my nerves. I need...
Burke Morgan.
Who's that? Who said my name then?
I did, Burke. Your old pal, Joe Norton.
Norton. Norton's dead. I killed him. It's my nerves. This spooky room and those faces. I've got to get a grip on myself.
Tony Phillips is here too, Burke.
No. Tony's dead, too. I'm not hearing anything. I'm not.
What do you know, Norton? He doesn't know us.
as old pals. He killed us, and now he won't even speak to us.
Look at us, Burke, standing here in front of you. Don't you recognize us now?
No. You're dead. You're just wax dummies. You're not real.
But how could we be talking here if we weren't real?
You're not talking to me. Just my nerves, that's all. Go away.
But we're never going away, Burke. We're waiting for you to die. Then you'll be with us again.
No, I don't believe it. This is Pop Malloy's Waxworks Museum, and you're all just 3 wax dummies.
Maybe, Burke, but did you ever hear a wax dummy talk before?
Now that you've seen us and heard us, Burke, you'll always see and hear
No.
us, no matter where you go.
You'll always know we're with you, waiting for you to die.
Waiting for you to die.
No,
You've thought
no.
of us a lot lately, haven't you?
No.
Burke?
Had nightmares about us.
You've been worrying about what would happen after you die. And now you know that we'll be waiting for you.
No, get away from me.
You killed us once to be rid of us, but now you can never be rid of us again. Never.
Never.
I can. I'll show you. I'll show you. Take that. Now go away. Because I've killed you. I've killed you. Do you hear? Oh.
So you see, Lieutenant, Burke Morgan was covering me with a gun the whole time. I knew he'd shoot if I made a move, so I pretended to be asleep and waited. I could see his nerves were jumpy because he wanted more cocaine, and I figured that maybe with the dummies of the pals he murdered standing there and looking like ghosts, he might crack.
I see.
I'd just about given up hope, though, when he started talking out loud, as if he could hear those dummies talking to him. And all at once, he lost control of himself and emptied his gun at him. Then I ran for the door.
Yeah, Lieutenant. As soon as I heard the shots and Pop yell, I come busting in. And you know, Burke Morgan had fainted? Yeah, fainted dead away there in that fake electric chair. So I handcuffed him, and there he is. Not even come to yet.
I see. Well, I'd hate to have to sit here myself looking at those 3 green faces glowing in front of me. Not surprised Morgan cracked.
Yeah, me neither. The green faces on them 3 dummies give me the creeps. And my conscience ain't bothering me either.
Well, anyway, I'm glad we've caught him. Now I can go ahead with my plans for my exhibit. You know, execution of Burke Morgan as his murdered partners look on. Yeah, I wouldn't want to waste all that phosphorescent paint he used.
That's one way of looking at it. Well, we'll take him away now. Hey, Pop. Pop, come here.
Yes, Lieutenant?
Bob, it looks like you're going to have even a bigger thing in this exhibit of yours than you ever figured on.
I don't understand, Lieutenant. What do you mean?
I mean that Burke Morgan's fright when he thought those dummies were talking to him was too much for his drug-weakened heart. Look at him. He hasn't fainted. He's dead.
What?
Dead in the electric chair.
And right on schedule.
So Burke Morgan died in the electric chair, just as the law said he would. Apparently fate had decreed that he was to die that way, and nothing he could do could change it. But then, waxworks museums are rather frightening places, even when you haven't got a lot of murders on your conscience. I remember a perfectly innocent young man who got locked in one, and in the morning he... Oh, you have to go now. Well, perhaps you'll drop in again soon. Just look for the house on the other side of the cemetery. The house of Dr. Weir.
That's it for Strange Tales this week. I hope you enjoyed the episodes today. You can find more from the Strange Dr. Weird, more from Strange Tales and all the other Relic Radio podcasts at the website relicradio.com. You can also listen to our Shoutcast stream there and donate if you'd like to help support this and all of the shows. We're 100% funded by you. You can visit donate.relicradio.com if you'd like to help out. Thank you, as always, to those who have. Thanks for joining me today. I'll be back next Sunday with another episode of Relic Radio's Strange Tales.